Let's go. For those that maybe weren't watching Home Story Cup or the previous cast whenever we cover Clem playing Protoss, fun fact, if you do not know, Clem is the highest rated Protoss player in Europe. He even has a higher rating than MaxPax on the ladder, I should emphasize. This is on the ladder, like MMR wise. Is the best Protoss in Europe, and there's a reason why he's been trying to avoid PvT. And there's a good reason for it. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the French, usually Terran player, but switching to Protoss to avoid that TVT. For Team Liquid, it is a Clem. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will it go the way of ByuN or Clem? And again, just in case people haven't seen Clem's Protoss before, it isn't like Clem isn't taking this seriously. If anything, Clem is taking this very seriously because, as I said before, his PvT is better than his TVT. Like, it is his stronger matchup. There's a reason why there's a reason why Clem has been competing more as Protoss, and there's a reason why he did play Protoss in Home Story Cup as well against Gumiho. After Clem lost against Gumiho with his Terran, he did switch to Protoss and did have more success. So there is a reason for that. It's very similar to Raynor, for example, where Raynor switches to Protoss and he avoids ZVZ. It's very similar. Where his PvZ is arguably stronger than Raynor's ZVZ. So a lot of players have been switching to Protoss to avoid specifically mirror matchups. Eva is the same. Eva, where he also avoids the mirror matchup and plays Protoss. So it's been something that's kind of rising in popularity over the years. Has been rising. He is the best Tulsa and Terran in Europe. Now only Zergamania. Exactly. We made this joke before where Clem, he has to master all three elements. He's almost there. Best Protoss and Terran in Europe. He is the avatar. Let's go. I mean, like, imagine, right? Like, imagine a player that, like, has strong enough Zerg, Terran, and Protoss to, like, play specific matchups in tournaments and avoid other matchups as well. Like, it's actually, like, it sounds terrifying. Sounds terrifying. Aye. Again, if they didn't like TVT, then just avoid it. If they don't like TVP, avoid that as well, right? Like, that sounds crazy. For now, though, we're settling in. We do have our initial opener here. Clem is going for a Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener here out of our Protoss player. Likewise, even Skillus has been praising Clem's Protoss. For those of you that were here for the MC8 qualifiers for Master Coliseum, after Skillus qualified for Master Coliseum and defeated Solar, Skillus actually did give a shout out to Clem on social media, saying that he actually took one of Clem's builds, where Clem has been practicing PvZ, and Skillus did take one of those builds and did actually defeat Solar with it and qualified for Master Coliseum. So Clem obviously has been, because he's been laddering with Protoss, he's also been excelling at some of the other matchups as well. Against Zerg and against Terran. For now, though, is going for Blink. Likewise, back at home, we do have ByuN going for a 1-1-1 interdrop play. Now, as we settle into our game here, we're loading into Neon Violet Square. I should speak a little bit about the games themselves, about the matchup. But as we settle in, this is a very large map. This is the largest map in the map pool. Very large map. So as a result, we've seen a lot of late game. We've seen a lot of late game, a lot of longer game states here on Neon Violet Square. And I imagine that's where we're headed. Clem does take a faster third base. I believe 2-gate blink. Yep, 2-gate blink into a third. Macroeconomic build here by Clem. He's not going all in by any means, is opening up economically. Meanwhile, Clem, he does miss a drop. Does barely miss it. Medevac does slip into the main, and Clem is out of position. Is out of position. Marines, they slip in. And Clem, he's racing back home. Oh, no recall in the main. And this is already just popping off. Already popping off. Getting up. Denying mining time. Not quite clearing many probes. Good reaction here. Good response by Clem, but he will lose 2. Lose 3 even. 3 probes go down. Likewise, wouldn't mind here in towards the natural. ByuN flexing his multitasking, flexing his speed here, trying to pull Clem apart. And that was good damage. Again, it didn't do any game-winning damage. There was no massive damage in the main base when it comes to the mineral line, but 3 probes and lost mining time this early on is pretty good nonetheless. Nice control there by Clem, pulling away. Ooh, one more probe goes down. Two more probes. As ByuN does target out as many workers as possible. Clem will hold, but in the end, that is going to be 5 probe kills and lost mining time in the main. Now, because Clem did open up 3 Nexus, he can recover, he can replace that, but ByuN, good start. Better start here for ByuN. Behind this, getting into his own 3-1-1 setup, into his upgrades, Stim, +1, combat shields. As ByuN races back home with that medevac and gearing up for some more drop play before his eventual move out. Meanwhile, Clem has breathing room. Clem can recover, saturating his bases. Taking into charge, forward for +1. Looks like a very gateway heavy composition. Clem had a choice. He could either go into a faster robo into Colossus, or into this, into faster charge instead, into something more gateway heavy. So Clem is going to be delaying his splash damage. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's moving out ahead of time. This is a very early move out for ByuN, and this is where I am concerned for Clem. I'm sure that Clem, he's quite confident in his more standard play in PvT, but this is crazy here by ByuN. Typically, a Terran player would wait until 7 minutes. They would wait an extra minute for the upgrades. But ByuN, he moves out a minute ahead of time before any upgrades are even close to finishing. They're still a ways off, trying to catch the Protoss off guard. But last, Clem does notice, he does slow it down, and ByuN pulls back. If these Stalkers weren't active, then ByuN, he would have snuck up on this base and maybe even brought it down. It's just really aggressive moves here by ByuN. Auto tart into the main. Double auto tart even. Getting a couple of probe kills, getting up to 4 probes. 4 probes go down. ByuN, he pulls back. He's playing safe. He's waiting for the upgrades, thankfully. Waiting for Stim, +1, combat shields. Scan reveals the observer. Nice snipe here out of ByuN. Does shut the observer down. And with the death of that observer, ByuN is moving out with that drop. Sneaking out with that drop, establishing his third. ByuN still building up, throwing down extra Raxes. Getting his third CC. Clem still being active. He's looking for that drop play. He's looking for the move out. He's expecting it. And ByuN doesn't give it to him. ByuN, he backs off. He realizes how active Clem is being. So he just retreats. He retreats, gets his third, and just macros. So ByuN is macroing up, being active with drop play, but more than anything, just staying back at home. And back at home, Clem is now taking towards his splash damage. But again, this was delayed. This was delayed here. In favor of charge lots, in favor of these warp-ins. Warp-ins that didn't really come into play. First Colossus in production. ByuN moves out, he gets spotted. Likewise, drop into the main, but Clem is in position. This time, Clem is ready. Snipes a Marauder. Very nice. Takes down a Marauder. Denies a drop. 1 Stalker goes down. 2 Stalkers go down. Nice big here by ByuN. And again, ByuN, he's not committing. He left his tanks at home. The tanks that were left at home, ByuN is just gaining map control. He's just fighting for map control. Getting ready for a later move out. Hoping to force an overreaction out of Clem. As Clem, his 4th base is late. And I'm pretty sure a big reason for that is because of how active ByuN is being. Clem isn't confident enough to expand. As a result, the 4th base is delayed. Now it's being taken, but I mean, ByuN has the greater economy, which is terrifying in TVP. Typically, the Protoss wants to be up a base, and we're even on bases. So Clem is falling behind. He's falling behind. ByuN being active once again, rotating over. Clem out of position. Army gets spotted. Clem, does he turn around? He does. Ooh, he thinks about it. He recalls back home. Does recall in time. Colossus in position. No Stalkers, though. The Stalkers, they were left across the map. Clem is trying to collapse in. Gonna be forced back. And nice anti-armor missile. Missile goes off. Zealous, they just crumble before this army, and the Colossus is exposed. ByuN, he will soon stim in. Going for the reinforcing Colossus. Clem trying to hold on. Stalkers, they race back home. He didn't get anything across the map. As Clem will lose 1 Colossi. 1 force Stalkers, they come in from behind. They clean this up, and Clem holds. Whew. Clem, he will hold on. But ByuN, he was more than happy to trade. He traded out more, just really a bio army, got a Colossus, getting his own 4th base up and running. ByuN still maintains an army supply lead. Again, ByuN, he had the better economy, so we can afford to trade. Clem, less so. Clem is still on the ropes. Trying to be active. Sooner just be the best random. It's possible. It's possible. Clem pokes in, snipes a medevac. Has to pull out though. Does have to pull away. ByuN's holding his own. And again, Clem has just been having such a hard time reading how aggressive or how passive ByuN has been this game. Has been falling behind as a result. ByuN rotating over. Clem trying to keep up with the rotations. Zealot run by does. There's only one Zealot though across the map. ByuN pushing in. Gets onto the high ground. And Clem, he has to commit. He dives in. Takes out one of the tanks, takes out the other. Mine shot's going to be going off. And ByuN, can he quite get on top of the Colossus? He cannot. Yeah, better fight here, better engage for Clem. Shuts down the Colossus. Sorry, shuts down the tanks. Forces the army back. Takes out a medevac, takes out 2 medevacs. Oh my god, Clem. He takes a fight. Takes a very good fight. Maintains every single Colossi. He will lose most of his gateway army. But he shuts ByuN down. And ByuN, and no planetary here at the 3rd or at the 4th base. Only orbitals. And Clem, can he punish this? I mean, he's lacking reinforcements. He's lacking reinforcements. We need a prism. We need warp-ins. Warp prism's on the way. Without that prism, ByuN, he's able to hold on. He's buying time. But Clem is back in this. Again, that fight went heavily in favor of Clem. Now ByuN is up against the ropes. Again, this expansion is so wide open and so exposed. And without a planetary like this was just so greedy for ByuN. It was insanely greedy. Now Clem thankfully has no storm, otherwise ByuN would be in trouble. Clem is taking into disruptors instead. Taking into disruptors, does force a cancel. Lackings are building up. Prism into the main. And the warp-in will complete. Clem came to the production. The CC under fire. It's getting very low. And it is started down. Massive pickup. Nova goes up, and ByuN, he's in a world of hurt. And again, ByuN, he had control of the early to mid game, but now everything has swung heavily in favor of Clem. Takes down the 4th and denied the 5th. Clem backing up. Clem has no reason to push in. He doesn't have to. He killed 11 SCVs. Did pull ByuN apart. And Clem just has to calm things down, build up his disruptor count, and max out. Likewise, ByuN is being active. DTs, they waddle across the map. They spot the main move out. Clem is getting ready. Shows those Novas. DTs, they do get into the mineral lines. SCVs are going down. And GG gets called. There's just too much to handle, and Clem will take a lead in the series. We'll take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. Best Protoss in Europe. Happy, let's go. It does take a lead in the series. Again, ByuN had so much momentum in this game. It was very impressive to see ByuN be hyper aggressive and even just fake out Clem time and time again. It was a very rough road to the mid game for Clem, but once Clem was able to take that one big fight, remember that moment when ByuN got behind the base, when he got on top of the ramp, on top of the cliff face, when he was within range of the mineral line with those tanks, Clem completely shut him down. A very, very strong fight for Clem, and everything swung in favor of Clem from then on forward. Likewise, ByuN was also being really greedy, right? He was also being very greedy back at home when it came to avoiding any kind of planetary setup, any kind of defensive setup as well. I think that ByuN was overconfident. I think because ByuN had so much momentum, he felt really good getting into that kind of game state and felt like he could get away with cutting corners. He was punished for it. He was punished for it in the end. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. PvP finals, Kappa. As a reminder, Clem, he only plays Protoss against Terran. Only against Terran, right now at least, in competitive tournaments. So if he's up against Hero in the finals, it'll be a TVP. Unfortunately. We have not reached the point where Clem's Protoss skills have surpassed his other matchups. Oh my god, meanwhile, Clem, he's switching it up. Okay, I was not expecting this. But on the smaller map, mate, there's so much to talk about. I like it. Here we go as we get into game number 2, and this is no longer a TVP, this is a TVT instead, spawning in the top left-hand corner. Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought it was intentional. I thought it was intentional. I guess not. Never mind. Clem, he accidentally picked the wrong race. He accidentally picked his off race. So we're gonna be switching back to his main race, back to Protoss. Yo, I was gonna glaze Clem so much for switching to Terran on Whispers of Gold. What I was about to get into was the fact that Whispers of Gold is a smaller map and a more aggressive map, and I would say that Terran is more favored on Whispers of Gold, especially a Terran player like ByuN. So I was about to say, yo, switching to Terran on Whispers makes a lot of sense, but Clem's like, oh no, sorry, I just picked the wrong race. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind, Pappy, never mind. So Clem, he's committed. He's committed to Protoss. It was just a misclick that he switched to Terran. So we will remedy that. He's back to his main race. We're all good. Aye. And now we can talk about the map once we embrace game 2. Let's go. False alarm. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and recover here on Whispers of Gold. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the French Protoss player, usually Terran, but again, is switching to Protoss whenever he plays against another Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. I see in chat, does he not want to show his card / weakness in TvT? I mean, he doesn't want to lose. like if Clem wants to win, he's going to play Protoss. I should reiterate that as well. Winding it back, again, when we casted Clem against ByuN, when Clem was losing that series against ByuN, that's when he switched to Protoss. And you can see here against ByuN, Clem doesn't even try to play game 1 as Terran. He just embraces pure Protoss. Just to reiterate, his PvT, you could argue is either better than his TvT, or you could argue that it's just a little bit more enjoyable than TvT. I would say it's just better though, currently. Like, it is Clem's weakest matchup, and I mean, you don't have to work on it, to be honest. True. Like in a tournament setting, you don't have to work on the TvT matchup. You don't want to play it. Just avoid it, right? Makes sense. Does make plenty of sense. Avoid the TvTs. So from here, we are going to be settling in. Clem saving us from having to watch TvTs one series at a time. True. He's doing it for the people, Bob. He's doing it for the people. Again, Reddit, they cried out in despair. They were like, this is the Terran patch. We need a Protoss savior. And Clem's like, okay, I'll be your savior. I'll just play Pro. I'll just do it. True. Shout out to Clem. Aye. As we do have ByuN opening up with an economic opener, going for a single gas opener into a Rax Expand here on the high ground, just to make sure he doesn't get disturbed, just so he doesn't get delayed. We mentioned before that the rush distance by ground is quite short on Whispers of Gold, so it makes sense for ByuN to go for the high ground CC. He doesn't want to be delayed here. He doesn't want to have to deal with any kind of early game Adept harass or Stalker harass. Wants none of that, so a very safe start here by ByuN. Now, as we get into our safe opener, I do want to reiterate what I was saying previously coming into game 1 about how aggressive you can be on this map, and I would not be surprised if ByuN does go for more committed move-outs, more committed tank-based move-outs even as well. For now though, 1-1-1. He's going for a 1-1-1 standard opener. This will be leading into drop play early on, then into a later move-out instead. So very similar to game 1 actually. Very similar by ByuN. Going for a Widowmine drop. Clem, he pokes in, and Clem, he gets eyes on the CC timing, so he knows it was an economic opener out of ByuN. He knows he can just calm things down, settle in, and embrace a more longer game state. We do have a 2-gate setup here. As a reminder, last game, Clem did open up 2-gate blink into a 3rd, very economically. Here on Whispers of Gold, I would not be surprised if he goes for a 3-gate opener instead, just to be safer. We'll see if he does go for that safer approach. For now, only 2 gates. So we'll see if he throws down a 3rd gateway or just expands. What does Clem go for? And it's looking to be an expansion. Okay, economic opener. 2-gate blink into a 3rd. Bold move here by Clem. I mean, I guess he did scout the 1-1-1, right? He scouted the more economic start, so he should feel safe enough to go for this. True. Does feel safe enough. Mind drop towards the main. And Clem not quite in position here. Stalkers are at the natural. But the mines do get dropped in. Clem, he pulls away. The mine shots! Oh! They retarget. They do retarget, and they get some decent connections. 2 probes go down. There's 1 shot left. Getting a 3rd probe. 3 probes for 2 window mines. Not bad. And one of the window mines gets saved. One of the mines gets saved. Does get lifted. Backs off. And ByuN can always dip back in. He can always dive back into that natural. So a very strong start here for ByuN. I say strong. Very nice start for ByuN, what I will say. As it does boost in between the bases. So he can now threaten the natural as well. And this will just tie up some supply. It means that Clem has to keep some stalkers at the natural and in the main base to defend. So nice start here for ByuN. Behind this, getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Drax's factory and a starport. With that, ByuN should be building up towards an eventual move out, but until then, the game is going to be relatively passive. Clem can establish his 3rd. And likewise, it's going to be on Clem to scout the move out when eventually it does occur. So far, the observer's in position. So far, so good. As I believe we had some auto turret harass. Yeah, auto turret's going to be coming in towards the main. We'll get a probe. Not bad. At the same time, here comes a mine drop here towards the natural. And Clem, does he keep up? He does. He pulls away in time, does react, does respond. Blink is done. Baits out the shots. Very nice. He will even zone away that prison. Sorry, that medevac. We'll zone it back and defend. So far, so good. Ooh, as the Raven comes back in, gets another probe. Another 2 probes even. Not bad. In total, the Raven with 3 probe kills. Stalkers, they do blink across the map, getting behind the mineral line. They get 1, they get 2 SCV so far. And they even force a cancel on the gas geyser. Very nice. So Clem does reciprocate. Ooh, Observer gets spotted. Observer gets shut down. It's going to be on Clem to replace. To get ready for that follow-up. Meanwhile, just like the previous game as well as the... Medevac does threaten a dive. But just like the previous game, we do see that Clem, he does delay his splash damage. He's going for a faster charge into a gateway explosion. He's setting up here on 9 gateways on 3 bases. So mass stalker charged out here at a Clem. Does mean that things like Colossus, Storm, and Disruptors are going to be far later here for the Protoss. And here comes a move out from ByuN. He is spotted by Clem. Again, that's going to be 2 tanks, 4 Marauders, and a mass amount of Marines. +1 should finish by the time the army gets across the map, and the Observer does confirm the move out. So Clem, he's gearing up. He needs warp in. Shield batteries are going to be on the way. This is going to be a tough hold for Clem. We'll see if he can pull it off. Again, he's trying to slow it down. Ideally, trying to force a stim or force a siege. ByuN is committed. Behind this, ByuN is taking a 3rd CC, but it's a much later 3rd base for ByuN. He's trying to get within range of the expansion. The shield battery's under fire. Shield battery goes down. There's a kill, another cancel. Anti-armor missile here on the 1 stalker. Nice split here from Clem. He's charging in. Diving the army. Can he take down the tanks? He does blink in. He gets 1. He gets 2. Both tanks go down. And Clem backs off. Does back off. Does retreat. He holds. Whew. Does hold on again. Very precise control there from Clem. If he didn't take down the tanks when he did, I mean, it could have been a very different game. But he holds. Clem holds. ByuN backs off. He has to retreat, takes down the Observer. And Clem is in a good position. He's on 3 bases. He can now take a 4th. He should be gearing up towards Colossus. ByuN isn't done, though. ByuN is not done. He's knocking down those rocks. The army gets spotted. Clem is aware. Phase on the way. Eventually, the Colossus are coming up, but there's going to be a window. There's going to be a window in time here where Clem does not have splash damage. Zalse try to catch reinforcements, but there's a bunker back at home. Zalse will delay the 3rd at least. Oh god, that's a lot of charge. Yo, Clem, he's all over this. We'll bleed out a Stalker. Zalse delay the saturation. Prism into the main. Vikings not quite in position though. They do come in to shut this down, but the warp in should complete. At the same time, and ByuN tries to dive in. Mine shots don't quite connect. They do finish warping into the main base. They do delay some reinforcements. Very nice force fields. Oh my god! The force fields pop off, and Clem holds. Clem does hold. Shuts down the army. The bay is now done. Colossus production has now begun. And that window that we spoke about, that window of vulnerability that Clem had, I mean, it's closing. It is now closing. And now ByuN is that much more in trouble. Has to back off, has to respect the army. Behind this, trying to get his third base up and running. Thankfully, the Warp Prism did go down. So no more counterattacks, no more warping into the main. ByuN, he's holding his own. I will say that this fourth base is late. This is a delayed fourth base for Clem. Ideally, he did want it sooner. Far sooner here. I say far, just a little bit sooner. Would have been nice. As ByuN is now getting his third up and running. ByuN, likewise, he gets eyes on the fourth. He wants to force a cancel. Widowmines is set up. Pylon gets cancelled. And can he take down the expansion? Oh, the mine shots are brutal on the Zealots. But the Colossus has arrived, and Clem holds. Clem, he does hold on. He saves the fourth. It would have been brutal if he had to cancel that base. Does hold on to it. Did bleed out a lot of Zealots in the process, but only Zealot. Clem being active, chasing him back. And again, right now the game plan for Clem is not to push out, but to buy time. To buy time for Colossus. He's on 1, now 2 Colossi. He needs to wait until 3, wait for his upgrades. Clem is gearing up. Nice blinks. Snipes a Widowmine. Likewise, he wants to be active to get eyes on any kind of move out. Second starport's on the way for ByuN, getting into mass Viking production eventually. They'll deal with those Colossus. Again, ByuN is not going to take this lying down. He's holding his own. Getting into Ghost production as well. He will have EMPs. Likewise, Clem, and now that he's got his fourth base up and running, he can take extra gases and go for a second robo into double Colossus and then double Disruptor production as well. But Clem still needs more time to get that up and running. Third Colossus has arrived. ByuN, he does push right through the center, and I believe Clem does miss the move out. Uh-oh. Clem just now spotting the army. He has to respond. Oh, gets a medevac. Nice pickup. Overextension by ByuN. Army gets spotted. Clem committing in. EMP goes off on the sentries. But that's 3 Colossus. Yeah, ByuN's going to be chased back. The Widowmine count gets reset. Likewise, Zealots catching reinforcements as well. Vikings have arrived. Clem, he has to respect the army. Poking in. Just now spawned the Colossus. Sorry, just now spawned the Vikings. A couple of Vikings go down. But Clem, he backs off to take an EMP to the face. And here come the Disruptors. He's bought enough time. Now he's making 2 Disruptors at a time. The Novas are here. And ByuN, he just hasn't been able to stop any of these expansions. 5th base now getting up and running for Clem. And there's no 5th base in sight yet for ByuN. No 4th base, I should say. Wait. Ooh, that's just now the 4th CC. Uh-oh. 4th base has now begun for ByuN. He's very committed on 3 bases. Clem a little bit late to respond. ByuN, he's stimming in towards the 3rd. Takes down the shield battery. Takes down the robo. Never goes up. Ooh, doesn't quite connect. Nice target firing out of ByuN. Takes down the Disruptors. Takes down the Colossus as well. Gets 1, gets 2. But GG gets called as the main army crumbles for ByuN. And remember, ByuN, he was all in. GG gets called. And Clem takes the 2-0. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he was completely 3 base all in. He was down 2 bases. He was down in economy. It was all or nothing for ByuN. He was sniping Colossus and he was sniping the Robos as well, but he was losing his army. He was losing everything as a result. GG, well played. Clem takes it. Clem will take it there. GG. He will advance on to the grand finals. And we have our 2 finals here. Now, even though Clem did play Protoss here in the semis, he will most likely not play Protoss in the finals. It will most likely be a TVP between Clem and Hero. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. As we are getting ready here for that final match. And again, congratulations to Clem. Again, Clem, he has some killer PvT. It is some of the best Protoss versus Terran in the world. I don't know if I want to confidently say that his PvT is better than Max Pax's. I don't know if I want to make that statement yet, but it's, I mean, He's the #1 Protoss player on the European ladder, at least, so there is that to fall back on. And it might even be better than that of MaxPax's. I mean, even strong enough, powerful enough to take down players of the caliber of ByuN. Here we go. And again, if you're able to take down players like ByuN, players like Ryung, like, which Terran players are missing, really? Like Maru, I guess? Like, Maru's like the other Terran. I guess Gumiho as well. Gumiho was able to take down Clem's Protoss, true. But he's also able to take down MaxPax. So, yeah, regardless, really powerful play there out of Clem. And what I should also emphasize as well is that I feel like Clem's Protoss is only going to get better from here, right? Like, it's only going to get better at this point. At this point, he has gotten it to the place where he's comfortable playing Protoss in tournaments, in competitive play, against the best players in the world. And I feel like it's only up from here for Clem. I feel like it's only just going to improve over time, which is crazy.